In this morning's Money Watch, protecting your tax refund. Identity theft topped the list of problems reported to the Federal Trade Commission last year. More than 250,000 complaints. One growing scam is tax-related identity theft. So with tax day just 2 weeks away now, CBS News business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is here to tell us how we can protect ourselves. Good morning. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too.
Hey, I guess first question is, how do you know you're a victim of this?
The scary part of this is it might not be immediately obvious to you. A couple of ways you could find out, but I should say the IRS isn't necessarily going to flag you if this happens. They may send you a letter that says you made more than what you reported on your taxes. That's one sign. Or when you go to e-file, when you file your tax return on the internet, you may get rejected and you might get a message that says you've already filed. Someone with that social security number has already filed. That is another red flag.
Let's ask well, first of all, how common is this? Because I think people might wonder, well, you know what? I've heard about it, but I didn't realize it was that big an issue, but we talked about some of the numbers.
And it is rather prevalent. I mean, overall identity theft, as you said, is in the hundreds of thousands of numbers. In this case, about 23,000 people were flagged by the IRS as having come in contact with this in 2009, which is the most recent data we have available.
And one thing they say people might know, if you ever get an email from the IRS, that should raise a big red flag because they don't email.
Yeah, that is a dead giveaway, and there are a number of dead giveaways that we should talk about here. But first of all, if you do think that maybe you've been a victim of this, don't rush to necessarily tell the IRS right away. The reason that you don't want to rush to claim identity theft is that if you do that, you could be facing a tax audit, which is, you know, it's an arduous process to have to go through. What you can do is wait for that refund to come. It should take about 6 weeks if you file by paper, 3 weeks if you file electronically. If you find out that that refund has already been cashed and you didn't receive it, well, there's a giveaway that you are a victim. Contact the IRS Identity Protection Specialized Unit. This is a unit that's set up specifically to deal with this issue. And lastly, an investigation, if you're looking for the amount of time to wait, it can take up to 6 months before you get an answer on whether or not you've been a victim and what the IRS has to say.
So you got to be a little patient with it. Do you have tips out there that you would recommend for people that feel that they have been victimized?
Yeah, and you brought up a really good point. Do not ever respond to an email that looks like it came from the IRS. That is the #1 thing. They are never going to send you an email. Also, check a tax preparer's background, because a lot of us, we go to places where they're not us doing our tax returns. Well, you want to know the background on that tax preparer before you hand over all that personal information. Vet them with friends, family, people who've used them in the past. Keep those tax files secure. Can't be said enough. I mean, we put so much personal information out there these days. Keep it secure. Have a safe internet connection. We've done stories about this where hackers can actually hack into your internet connection if you're not using a secure line. And lastly, dispose of those files carefully. Those old tax returns, if you are getting rid of anything, those W-2 forms, make sure that you shred them. Also hold on to them for a handful of years, because obviously the IRS can come back and ask for that information for up to 3 years.
You almost want to treat it like a doctor. You wouldn't just go to anyone to take care of your well-being. Your finances, you should categorize it that as highly as well.
Absolutely. Look for the best and make sure that it's secure and vetted by the friends.
All right, CBS's Rebecca Jarvis. Thanks, Rebecca. Good to see you this morning.